So maybe you've been fortunate to have a good job, a good salary. Maybe through the pandemic, you've had opportunities to do work from home, remote. Maybe you quit your job and found a better job because employment is desirable for companies. There's a lot of hiring for new positions within a company with higher salaries. Companies have lost a lot of employees, so they have higher wages. There was a time when minimum wage was well below $15, and there was efforts to try to make a national minimum wage of $15. You don't hear about that anymore because it's easy now to find jobs with $15. However, no matter how big your salary is, no matter how big your income is, remember that the salary from a company is just the drug they give you to forget your dreams. A salary or an income is only an illusion, a seductive dangling of money that they give you to forget about what you really want to do in life. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't have a job with a salary, because there's going to be times when you're just glad that you have a salary, that you have a steady income, that every Friday you get money given to you. You can count on it. That's important. That's okay. But always remember that the dream is real and attainable. Don't let the salary be a drug to forget your dreams. Let it be a stepping stone for you to attain them. So how do you do that and still have your salary? Well, you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face. You don't want to quit your job to not have a job, because even though the salary is just a diversion or a distraction from you to pay attention to what you really should do in life, you still want to have it because it powers. It will give you the power to get your dreams done. The dreams are not going to happen by itself. You're going to have to put some work into it. And the way you do it is you keep your day job, so to speak. It's a cliche. And you start something in your spare time. Start something after hours. And what do you start? Well, I'll give you a couple examples, but what you start really doesn't matter. The fact is that it's something, because eventually that thing will grow and build and eclipse your day job. So where you can maybe cut back on your day job and then get rid of it altogether. But you don't want to be spiteful and throw away the power of your day job that allows you to have your dream. So let's look at an example. Suppose that you're a normal employee of a company and you work 9 to 5, 8 hours a day, or some version of that. What that means is, worst case scenario, from 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, whenever you go to bed, that time belongs to you. So do weekends. And in reality, there's probably time between 9 and 5 that belongs to you too. Maybe if you go into an office, every minute of every day, you're not completely monitored that you have to do something, unless you work in an Amazon warehouse. If you work remote, then you probably even have more time available to you. So that's when you start what everybody calls a side hustle or a side gig. I highly recommend that you don't call it a side hustle or side gig. Your job, your salary, your paycheck, that should be your side gig. Your primary job should be what you do for yourself. And that thing is going to start very small. It's going to start with zero income. It's going to be all work at first. It doesn't have to be hard work, but it's going to be work before it's money. But that's your investment. In reality, it really doesn't matter, because I guarantee you that right now, during that downtime between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., you do things that are effort activities that don't make you any money anyways. Maybe it's a video game. Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe it's hanging out with your friends. Maybe it's going on Facebook. Those things require activity with your mind, with your hands, with your body, with all the different aspects of your being. And you put effort into it. And you don't get any money for it. You don't get paid for it. You get no reward from it. In fact, when you play video games or you go on Facebook, the technology companies gain from you. They gain data. They harvest your activities. I'll tell you a story about a very close friend of mine who many years ago was a general manager of a large corporate company. He not only worked 9 to 5, but he worked retail 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And he also worked on Saturday half a day. So that's some serious hours. And at the time, my company that I was running, we were expanding. We were growing. We needed additional staff to do some research, some online research, some online analysis of records. And he and I happened to be talking by email back and forth because he wasn't in the same place I was at the time. And I mentioned to him, I said, look, yeah, we're expanding. We need to add more people. We need to do more research. And here's a guy at the time that was working as an executive of a company, making well into the six figures, probably $200,000 a year, close to it. And he emailed me back and he goes, well, if you need any help, let me know and I'll do research for you. And in the context of our conversation, it almost sounded like it was a joke. And I almost going to reply back, kind of joking around about his comment. Fortunately, I kind of hesitated a little bit and I asked him, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, Dave, here's what happens when I get home at night. I leave my job at 9. Takes me half an hour to get home. It's 9:30. I eat dinner. I change. I hang out. It's 10 o'clock. Then I spend the next 2 hours online playing video games from 10 to 12. I'm online. I'm doing stuff with a computer every night anyways. So why don't I just spend a couple hours doing something for you and make some money doing it? Well, there's a smart guy. So we started having him work on some of this research, and he made good money doing it and expanded to where at one point he was actually making $6,000 or $7,000 a month, just a few hours a night. Now, it wasn't his own business, but it was a side income. So what can you do for your own business? Well, I recommend doing something online because it doesn't require you to travel. It doesn't require you to go someplace, to have a store, to physically move yourself to another location. You can do it from wherever you want to go. You can do it from your house when you're home. If it doesn't hold up your plans for doing travel or going away on weekends, because as long as you have a computer, you'll be able to do whatever thing you're doing. What kind of things could you do? Well, first, think of a subject that you have some interest in. If you're into fishing, something having to do with fishing. If you're into hiking, something with hiking, bowling, whatever it is. The reason why we say that is because at least you'll have some basic knowledge already in that subject matter. You won't have to learn something new. You can start from day one knowing something about it. Number two is it's something you have an interest in where no matter what this project is, there's going to come a day where it's not going to be fun that day. It'll be challenging because a customer will be upset. The website's going to go down. Something will happen. And if it's something you have an interest in, it'll keep you motivated to go through that hard time. So the examples of business are unlimited. And we're going to talk about a few of the examples right now, but these aren't specifically designed to have you use these. It's more designed to show you what's possible. Let's suppose you like photography and you take pictures of things. You could take pictures of things in your area, start posting them online. You have 10, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 800 photos online of something. Nature, houses, bridges, cars, trains, anything. And at first, you're not going to get any money from those. You're just going to have this huge photo array. But once you do that, and you tag them and start having interest, here's the thing. There are millions of people online every day looking for everything you can imagine. And if you have each one of those pictures with tags, at some point, there will come a demand for that thing. Because there's people out there that want everything. Doesn't matter what it is. And you can start selling the photos. You're not going to get a lot of money for them. $1, $2, $3, whatever it is. And if you sell one a day, it's $1, $2 a day, $3 a day. It's not going to be a ton of money. But once you have your first dollar of income, now you can multiply that. If you have 0, you can't multiply 0. But you can, but it's still 0. 0 times 100 is still zero. But if you have $1 of income and you want to double it, now you have $2. And then you double it, now you have 4. And every day you find ways to incrementally increase it. For the first weeks or months, it's probably not going to be anything you can live on. It's not going to be anything that you can buy anything substantial with. In fact, you shouldn't buy anything. Just put the money away, because you're going to need to spend some money on minor things. $10 for a website address, $5 a month for hosting, maybe $15 for a microphone for your videos or whatever you're doing. So save that money. But your first dollar is important. That's why every time you go to a business and you go to check out at the cash register, there's a dollar bill hanging on the wall. That's their first dollar. And many businesses don't even know how important that dollar is. That dollar makes it real. That makes the business an actual entity, not just a hobby. What else could you do? Well, you could find any product that has a name and decide to sell that product. If you want to sell mailboxes, you put up a website that says buy mailboxes, and you find unusual mailboxes. Don't get something that people could buy at Home Depot, but something that's unique. Maybe you buy base mailboxes from the dollar store and you paint them with pictures of whales. Maybe you add on a little piece of wood or metal that makes it into the shape of a dinosaur. Maybe you add on some letters that make it a college tribute mailbox, and you put a picture and you sell it online. Again, there's somebody that wants to buy anything you can imagine. At first, you might not hit the target head on. You might be trying to sell something that's a little different from what the market is, but I guarantee you the market will tell you what they want to buy. If you put a college themed mailbox for sale and somebody looks at it and says, well, I like that, but can you make one for my sorority? Can you make one for my unit in the Marines? Can you make one for, and then you know what the market is. The point is, you're going to start small. It's going to be $2 and $5 and $10. Next thing you know, it'll be $200 a month, $300 a month. It's still not going to make you rich, but it's going to be a growth pathway to where one day now it's $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month. When you think about it, $3,000 a month sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not. It's $100 a day. If you sell something for $100, you just need to sell one every day. That's it. And it could be done. It's not going to happen the first day. The trick to this, the trap, the most important thing is to not expect to be rolling in cash the first day, week, or even month or two. It's going to take a while to learn the ins and outs. But what else are you got to do anyways? You're going to sit in front of the TV and watch YouTube videos. You're going to play video games. At least this way you're pursuing towards something. The first 2 or 3 things you try might be dead ends. But unlike a business that somebody starts with a large investment of $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, if it fails in 6 months, you're not out any money. You're just out your time. And then you can start plan B and plan C and plan D. Remember what they say about business. 90% of businesses fail in the first year. 60%, whatever the numbers are, it doesn't matter. And it's probably true. But if your business is simply a $10 website and an idea in your head, it doesn't matter if it fails 10 times. Eventually, time number 11 will be the thing that sticks, and the thing that turns into your dream, and the thing that makes you be able to walk into your boss and say, look, I appreciate working here. I'm glad to have the opportunity. I'm out. I'm done. I have my own thing. You're not going to get there unless you start taking the steps to have a thing of your own that belongs to you, that's not a boss deciding if they're going to give you a raise. If you want a raise, sell more. Get more customers. And you'll find that it's doable. In fact, the proof that you can do this is think how many businesses are that are out there. The people that own those and run those, they're no smarter than you, they're no better than you. You know how I can prove that? Think about your boss, your manager of your store that you work at, of your business that you're an employee of. Do you think they're better than you? Do you think they're smarter than you? Do you have ideas every day that are improvements upon that business? You do, don't you? Every day you tell your boss, hey, you could do this, it'll be better. Do they listen to you? No. So make your own environment. Now, the reason why the company you work for is in business that's built up is because somebody went through those steps that we're talking about. They started small, they built it up, and they made it into something. If you want a business to be better, make your own. Because even if you leave your current job and go somewhere else, it's going to be just as bad, if not worse. There's still going to be bosses that don't know what they're doing, that don't match your own style, your own intellect. So get to the point where you can have your dream overtake the job. Because the drug that they're giving you to forget your dreams, which is a salary, is an addictive drug. And if you don't beat the habit early on, as soon as you can, at some point you're just going to be trapped in a paycheck to paycheck job, paycheck to paycheck life. And at some point you won't be able to get another raise because you're at the end of your career ladder. And even though your salary is not going to go up, all your expenses will keep going up because inflation will have higher taxes, higher rent, higher mortgage, higher car payment, higher gas price. That's going to keep going up. But at some point, your career path is going to be at a dead end. Unless you make your own career path and have your own business. Think of all the people that you know are wealthy, that are rich. Did they get rich working for somebody else? Anybody you know that's rich, do they have a job or do they have a business? You can earn a lot of money at a job. You can be a high paid employee at a job, but you're not going to get wealthy at a job. Very few people get rich, get wealthy, or even have security. Even if you don't want to be a multimillionaire, if you want to have personal security in life and not have to worry about where your next paycheck comes from, rent increase, just personal freedom, very few people do that with a job. Now, the job is a stepping stone. You can't ignore the fact that a job is needed, and sometimes it's comfortable to have that paycheck. But while you're doing that, have the discipline to work yourself into a dream space of your own business or your own income, whatever that is. And the ideas, this video is not about the ideas. Hit subscribe to this or watch our other videos. We're going to have a video every couple weeks that'll tell you 10 or 15 free business ideas. The idea is not the hard part. It's executing them that's the hard part. But we'll give you the ideas anyways to at least give you a head start so that you're not starting from scratch with zero ideas and no place to go other than back to your drudgery job that you hate, but you have to do it because you get a paycheck on Friday.